United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. A few announcements regards the closed sessions from last week. Results of closed sessions held at the meeting of November 27, 2007. There's several of them. Closed session pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9b1. Conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation, significant exposure to litigation, one case, no action taken. Closed session pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9a. Conference with legal counsel, existing litigation, Burlingame versus County of Calaveras, U.S. District Court, Action 106 CV 01734. County Counsel, no action taken. Closed session pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9a. Conference with legal counsel, existing litigation grievance, Waller and County of Calaveras. County Counsel, Board Action, Calaveras County and Ray Waller jointly announced they have successfully mediated the dispute concerning his county employment. Closed session conference with labor negotiator under Government Code Section 54957.6. Assistant CAO HR Director, Calaveras County Deputy Sheriff's Association, was canceled. Closed session pursuant to Government Code Section 54957.6. Conference with labor negotiators, county representatives, CAO and Assistant CAO Director of Human Resources and Risk Management, SEIU, regarding miscellaneous employees, human resources, was canceled. And finally, closed session relative to public employee appointment or employment county administrative officer pursuant to Government Code Section 54957, human resources, with no reportable action. Moving to the consent agenda. Consent agenda items are expected to be routine and non-controversial. They'll be acted upon by the board at any one time without discussion. Any board member, staff member, or interested party may request removal of an item from the consent agenda for later discussion. We'll be removing item number 1, the minutes of the meeting held on November 6, 2007, being removed for a correction. Any other board member? Any staff member? Any member of the public? Is there a motion for approval of the remainder?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries on a 5-0. We'll be recessed for 2 minutes. Back to order, folks. Move on to item number 7, public comments. This is the part of the agenda where any member of the public may address the board on any item not on today's agenda. Is there any member of the public that would like to address the board?
Good morning. Stephanie Moreno, Director of Community Development. I wanted to report to you we've had 2 very successful visioning meetings, one in Arnold last Saturday, one last night in Murphy's. We had approximately 35 members of the public in Arnold and approximately 65 in Murphy's. The supervisors were in attendance. Supervisor Callaway actually graciously helped us facilitate last night because we didn't have enough facilitators due to illness. But I think they were very good meetings. There was a diverse group of viewpoints represented, and I think that we are going to have very good results to bring back to you when we come back with our Issues, Opportunity, and Visioning report mid-February or March. So I just wanted to let you know that. I also wanted to request permission from you, if there is no objections. One of the things we neglected to include in our work plan for the general plan update was to request a joint meeting with the City of Angels City Council. And if it would be okay with the board, I'd like to send an invitation to the City of Angels asking if they'd like to meet with this Board of Supervisors as part of the general plan update to talk about some of the issues. They are a part of the county. They are the only incorporated city, and I think it would be productive for both of our entities to have that joint meeting. So if there are no objections from you, I'd like to go ahead and send out a letter of invitation.
Any comments from the board?
I think that would be a good suggestion. Stephanie mentioned this to me last night, and I suggested at that meeting the city's in the process of updating their general plan at the same time, and maybe they could give us an equal presentation on the status of their general plan and what would be changed, because I think it's pretty important that we get some integration between the two, particularly for the benefit of the Highway 4 corridor.
Okay.
Very well. Is that all right with you, Russ?
I'm sure looking forward to it. That's a good idea.
All right. Thank you very much.
I paid this morning, Lynn.
Oh, good. Good morning. Lynette Norfolk, Treasurer Tax Collector. Just a reminder for everyone in the public and the board, of course, that the first installment of taxes are due, or is due, excuse me, on Monday the 10th. And we take credit cards, we take payments of, firstborn children, things of that nature. So payments are coming in very well right now, but I have to head back and see what we've got there. We've been getting 2 mail trays in, so it's too soon to tell whether there's a significant delinquency this year or not. Would you like me to pick up something there? All right, and thank you. Any questions?
We do credit cards now?
We do credit cards, but not over the counter. We go through Official Payments Corporation.
Okay.
But yes, we do. So.
Just trying to get those travel points.
Yes, I understand. Got it. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lynn.
Did you just give me something?
Good morning, members of the board. This morning, the district staff would like to, would like to share with you our past 3 days of burn situation. I'm sure some of you might have received some complaints. If you didn't, thank you. However, CAL FIRE, U.S. Forest Service, and district staff has received almost a couple dozen complaints, evenly split from the people who are telling us, why are you letting anybody burn? And the other side is, why can't we burn before it rains? We have tried to do our best, and receiving complaints anytime, we will declare it's a no burn day, even though Air Resources Board at least once said it's a perfect burn situation, and the district decided no, it's not, because the burn smoke from the previous day was impacting the health of some of the people, and they called us directly, and we declared it's a no burn day. And one day when the Air Resources Board said it's a no burn day, it was a perfect situation for us to burn, and we convinced Air Resources Board staff to declare a burn day for the mountain counties. So I just wanted to let you know that we are trying to solve the problem based on the people's health. At the same time, we are trying to help the people so that some of the waste which can be burned without impacting the health of the people. And we are on the top of the situation. Give us a call anytime if you receive complaints. We'd like to go there and see what we can do for it.
Lockman, let me ask you a quick question. I had a lady in Murphy stop me at the visioning meeting last night, and these are complaints I don't get a lot of, but I get several of every fall, and that is people go out and break up their leaves and burn them, particularly in the community centers, and then the smoke goes into the neighbor's house or a couple neighbors' houses, and they say, well, what are we allowing burning for? I don't want this smoke, blowing straight into my house. We do allow burning in the community centers. Is there any basic condition that says, the smoke has to go up and not go sideways into the neighbor's house and stuff? What do we have to address that, if anything?
Burn day's situation is that when we predict, not only locally in the state, Air Resources Board predicts that the smoke should lift, then we allow burning, whether it's in the community area or anywhere. But Mother Nature overrules us, like it happened in Arnold. Smoke management plan was approved, it was perfectly done, but the wind shifted and we had a lot of smoke into Arnold area. And same true for Murphy's area. At that point, we told the U.S. Forest Service they must discontinue and start mop-up operations. And they did. In the meantime, we goofed, also goofed is the U.S. Forest Service, because there is a list of people who are impacted from the smoke we are supposed to call. We inform those people, please shut down your doors or close your doors, shut down windows, etc. And in this case, the mop-up operations by U.S. Forest Service took precedence, and they started doing it as soon as possible. Somebody failed to call those people, and we started receiving calls that we did not honor our promise to them. So at that point, we investigated it further, and we were told that Mr. Sid McMahon, who has been our liaison for last 15 or so years, he's no longer our liaison. Margot Erickson took over, so I communicated with her. So we are
Okay, but if I have a citizen calling saying someone's burning leaves and the smoke's coming straight into my house, and like, can I just basically say to give you a call and that you'll go up and check it out?
I do show up on those places.
How about if it's on a weekend, who should they call?
Sometimes I have surprised people during weekends.
Well, I mean, if they call you on the weekend, they're going to get a
No,
answering machine, will they
Some
not?
of the key areas do have my cell phone number.
The what?
My cell phone numbers.
Who has it?
The fire department people. The first thing on the weekend is they should call their fire department.
Okay.
And the fire department, if it's inundating the smoke, not only they take a run report, or they go for a run report, and I do show up.
Okay. Thank you, Lockman.
And I am available on Saturdays for public meetings.
I'd like to raise one other issue here while we're at it. It does seem to me kind of odd that people spend a great deal of time burning leaves when other jurisdictions have made this an asset. There are, for instance, Sacramento rounds up the leaves, mulches them, and you can actually make money. You can fund a program through selling gardeners leaf mulch. It's actually quite expensive. But you can make enormous amounts of it using either a transfer station or something else to dump them at, and people could bring their leaves to that, save the hassle of smoke. It produces a real disproportionate. Burn piles, if they're dry, don't put a lot of smoke in the air, but a leaf pile can burn for a long time and put a lot of stuff into the air, which makes no sense, especially if you can use it in another way. Can we be like the other jurisdictions that encourage that?
We possibly will endeavor this approach after our meeting in Arnold. Supervisor Maria Calway, I'm meeting with the Arnold citizens, and at that point we'll come up with some kind of a creative idea of what can we do in those cases. So if it's a small-scale approach, it works, then we'll probably carry it countywide.
I can tell you blueberry farmers will take oak leaves because of the acidity. It's a huge commodity for them. So maybe we need to set up some arrangements.
In the Ebbets Pass area, we have 2 yard waste sites, and it's reduced burning substantially. But there still are people that have volumes of pine needles or oak leaves or whatever, and especially since we've gone to the 100-foot clearance, and they don't want to. They can rent bins. There's lots of options. They just want to burn. They don't want to take it from the bottom of the hill, drag it all the way to the top of the hill, bag it up, take it to the 2 sites. Lockmer's right. I mean, I have people who call me and say, it's a great day. Why can't I burn? Even though it's been reduced. But Lockmer and I, and he's offered this for years, to work with subdivisions to do options. There's options that the permanent residents don't burn on weekends, and so it's usually the 3-day weekends that are big ones, or that they have no burns within a subdivision. I mean, you have a subdivision you want to have them work with, they'll do that. And you can come rake my oak leaves, Steve, because I got a lot of them. And you can have all that you rake.
And you can eat all the blueberries you put them on.
Cut down all your oak trees.
No.
If you can't eat them all, bring some to me.
Sorry.
Bill got them. Thank you.
Thank you, Lockmere.
Get a tote bag.
Good morning. Brian Moss, Environmental Management Agency Administrator. Just wanted to share with the board very quickly that our mosquito and vector control program continues to proceed here at the local level. You may or may not be aware that the governor recently awarded additional emergency funds out of Sacramento for the control of West Nile virus. And as part of that control, actually, this year, he actually moved into education as well. And with that, Madeline, can I get you? With that, one of the things that we've done is put these bags together with information in there. It's not just West Nile virus. We also are looking at issues of Lyme disease, so there's information in addition to West Nile virus there as well. Bottom line is the program continues to proceed forward. You'll see this type of outreach effort going forward in the community. So you'll see some of these canvas bags around. And so far, the community is very, very supportive. So if there's any questions regarding mosquito and vector control at this point, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Dare I ask when the tank's going to be delivered to Wilseyville?
We're going to need to work with Public Works on that issue because of a breach in the tank. So it needs to be repaired before we can move it up there. But the one that we do have down at La Contenta, I will tell you, is doing very well. We will take fish up to your district as well.
All right.
So that program, the mosquito fish program, has worked very, very well. So
can you put that availability out to all the ag organizations so
absolutely
people can access that?
Absolutely. What we're finding actually is most people with fairly large ponds have bass in them or that type of thing, and it's really not an issue. It's the much smaller
drinking holes,
exactly, the smaller areas where there's no fish or what have you. It's very, very stagnant, very quiet, and the mosquito larvae do very well in those situations. So again, this has been very successful, and the community has definitely embraced it. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian.
Greg Tarbett, San Andres. I want to talk to you about code compliance today. I have talked to my supervisor, Mr. Claudino, and he's been helpful in getting a response or a call back from him. But my problem is I had a neighbor do an excavation on my property line in 2005, and it still hasn't been corrected. So we're going over 2.5 years, and nothing's been done hardly. They've missed 3 deadlines. I've gone to an administrative hearing twice, and right now I have half a block wall and half a wood fence. Block wall's not done to code. The fence isn't done to the engineer's requirements. And I've suffered damage now in between the second and third notice to have this problem corrected. I've had half a dozen fence posts fall out of the ground. I've had 2 trees fall out. My bank slid, and nothing. I mean, after this administrative hearing, in which they were told they were going to have a substantial fine if it wasn't done in September, it's like I said, I got half a wall, half a fence. And it will not hold the bank. Right now, if we get a good rainy season, I've got a main water line at the top of this hill. It's already sunk about 6 inches. And if it gets more saturation, that line's going to break. So code compliance tells me that they get their directions from you. And now they want to negotiate with this guy about fixing his wall again. So what's the use of going to an administrative hearing if they're not going to do what the panel comes up with?
Good question, Greg. I coincidentally was at Code Compliance this morning before this meeting, and your situation there is on my list. Todd is away this week at training, and so I left a message for him to contact me when he returns next week, and yours is one of several cases that we're going to discuss. Time.
Okay. Code compliance is, I mean, they've kind of been attentive, but there's no follow-up. The only follow-up is when you go back out 2 or 3 months later to find out what's going on. They don't know. So 2.5 years, and it should be done. So and they've told me, well, just fill against his fence. Well, that's fine. I'd love to, but his fence is going to fall over. And then he's going to take me to court. Is the county going to be there by my side? Code compliance going to be there? it's kind of getting ridiculous. I mean, the length of time that this has taken, and this guy's got several different violations against him. They're still waiting for a property line survey from 2004.
Well, no, the
It's all
survey...
stall, and there's just lots of different things up there. And
You're right, the survey is a separate issue, but apparently this neighbor or this other party has, from time to time, started compliance and put the administrative action in abeyance, but we're going to be revisiting that this month. So you will be contacted by code compliance again. Like I say, next week there's a laundry list of things that we're going to try to do a little housekeeping on, and you're on that list.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Is there anyone else who would like to address the board on any item not on today's agenda? Okay, we'll move along to item number 8. This is brought to us by Public Works, discussion and possible action regarding the adoption of the 2 ordinances, the grading and stormwater quality ordinances. Morning, Michael.
Good morning. Mike Miller, Public Works. This report is asking you to adopt the revised or changed ordinance. The one that you saw on the 13th, the only thing that was different is there were changes that were tracked in it that shouldn't have been in there. The first version you saw and the version that went to the website were correct, and it was style changes in format and font only. And because it was incorrect and it wasn't the exact same narrative as the first one you saw on the 6th, we have to follow the rule of law and correct it exactly as County Council recommended.
Okay.
I move the adoption of the 2 ordinances, grading stormwater as corrected, and waive reading.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries on a 5-0. Thank you very much, Mike. We're on time, can you believe that? Moving on to item number 9, public hearing, possible board action regarding Ag Reserve number 303, Marilyn Pence, Richard Mattioli, and Robert Mattioli. Go ahead, Mary.
Good morning, Mary Mutz, Agricultural Commissioner. This is a public hearing. The first proposal today has to do with the Mattioli and Pence family. It appears to be very simple. The Mattiolis request to rescind 2 California land conservation contracts while entering into 1 contract that would restrict all of that land, but also add an additional 6 acres to the total contracted restricted land. For a visual, the Mattiolis have 2 contracts. The blue is contract number 171 of approximately 400 acres, and the red is a contract of 33 acres. No one is certain why they have 2 contracts for this one family. All the land is contiguous. And the Mattiolis plan to add this 6 acres that is indicated in yellow, if you can see it. So what I am requesting is that the board approve a resolution which rescinds contract number 171 and 225 while simultaneously entering into a new contract number 303, and that the board approve a resolution to establish the preserve. Are there any questions?
Okay, at this time, I'd like to have the clerk swear anybody in that will be testifying for this public hearing or the one that is item 10 on today's agenda. If anyone in the audience intends or thinks they may testify here, would you please stand and be sworn in by the clerk? Okay, at this time, I'll open the public hearing with regard to Ag Reserve number 303, item number 9. Is there anyone that wishes to address this board on item number 9 on today's agenda?
Where's this located, Mary?
Calaveritas Road.
It's at, you know where Elliot runs his cows out there?
Sort of.
Before you get to Ron Arola's place.
Okay.
On Calaveritas Road. It's this end of the Mattioli, and it's
Is this
Aunt
your
Mary's.
district?
Their Aunt Mary had a cabin there on 6 acres, and they've inherited that. They just want to bring it in
I'm
here.
all for it. This is a good contract.
Yeah.
You're for it, I assume it's your district?
Huh?
I love it.
Aunt Mary?
Well, you know, yeah.
Past the second driveway, turn left.
That's the one by the big white rock. Okay. Anyway,
Isn't it nice that we're still small enough we can talk that way?
yeah, this is an appropriate move. It really is, in my opinion. So there's no public testimony here. We'll close the public hearing, bring it back to the board.
Mr. Chair, I assume you're in favor of this, then I
Yes.
will move the item to rescind California Land Conservation Contract number 184 while simultaneously entering into 3 new contracts for the majority of the Dunham.
Excuse me.
No, excuse me.
No.
Where am I?
Item 9.
Excuse me.
Item 9.
Oh, I'm on 10. Excuse me. One ahead. Recommend the board, okay, rescind California Land Contracts number 171 and number 225 while simultaneously entering into a new land conservation contract number 303, which includes all of the acreage restricted in contracts 171 and 225, as well as approximately 7 additional acres. I'm sorry.
Okay, fine.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries on a 5-0. We'll move on to item number 10.
Excuse me, counsel, does that cover the resolution to establish the preserve as well?
I didn't hear that actually in the motion. So.
Okay, then I will also make I did what the recommendation was, but I don't see. So what are you asking for, Mary?
Approval of a resolution to establish the preserve.
Okay, and then I will move a resolution to establish the preserve.
Second.
Moved and seconded. And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries also on a 5-0.
Next time, Mary, make sure you get that in the recommendation, so we get it.
Thank you.
Okay, item number 10, Mary?
Item number 10 is just slightly more complicated. This has to do with the Dunn family. The Dunn family ranch consists of approximately 1,200 acres. It is out off of Swiss Ranch Road. What the Dunn family wishes to do is, I guess I'll use the word divide that contract and open, what they would like to do is rescind the original contract, which is number 184, and open 3 new contracts for 3 individual family members and non-renew the remainder. What they would like to do, what they are proposing to do, is enter into contract number 304, which will consist of more than 500 acres. The second contract, number 305, will consist of more than 300 acres. The third contract, number 306, would consist again of more than 500 acres. That contract that I just mentioned, number 306, will include some land that is not restricted. So it will increase the size of the restricted land for that contract. Then they would also like to non-renew a small 20-acre piece that is currently included in this original ranch and original contract. And that leaves a remaining 70 acres, which at the time of the writing of this memo, we were not sure what the owners were going to do. Since then, the owners of that 70-acre piece, the Maddens, have requested to non-renew. They have submitted their original paperwork and the fee to non-renew that. Are there any questions at this time? Mr. Dunn is in the room to answer any questions.
I'm interested in the net amount of addition versus non-renewal.
163 acres are going to be, will be added, and 90 are coming out, so that will leave 70 additional acres.
All right. At this time, we'll open the public hearing. Is there anyone that wishes to address the board on item number 10 on today's agenda? Okay. Mr. Dunn, do you have anything that you want to add, or are you just here to answer questions if there are any? Sure. Yeah, okay. Okay, we'll close the public hearing and bring it back to the board.
This being in my district, I'd like to make a couple of comments before making the motion. I wanted to compliment the Dunn family on what I consider to be superb land stewardship up in that area, and I think it should be noted. This is one of the most beautiful ranches in District 2. Families kept it well and has handled their conservation easements and the way they're stewarding their land in a most exemplary way. I know that there have been some things in the past that, caused some amount of grief for the family into putting this in the first place. And I want to express my delight that he hung with it, kept going, and is here today before us in this manner. With that said, I will move the rescission of California Land Conservation Contract number 184, while simultaneously entering into 3 new California land conservation contracts and non-renewing the remainder as follows. Enter into California Land Conservation Contract number 304, Gerald Allen Dunn. Enter into California Land Conservation Contract number 305, Melissa Herrera. Enter into California Land Conservation Contract number 306, Ronald and Linda Payne. And authorize non-renewal for a portion of contract number 184 for Melissa Herrera at owner's request. And finally, I wanted to ask whether you wanted to authorize or initiate. Are we prepared to authorize?
We're preparing to authorize. The county will not initiate non-renewal because we received the request from the property.
So I would further move that we authorize non-renewal for a portion of contract number 184 for Patricia Madden in a timely manner.
Second.
And will this also necessitate a motion for a resolution as the previous one?
I also need a motion for, and excuse it for me for lacking it in the memo, for establishing the 3 agricultural preserves.
All right, I add the 3 agricultural preserves to my motion.
Okay.
Second as well.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries on a 5-0. Thank you very much, Mary.
Thank you.
Okay, we will be in recess for 20 minutes. Imagine that. Final item on today's public agenda is item number 11, review of correspondence, reports, and various matters of concern to the board. Start with Supervisor Tryon.
Excuse me. We had the visioning meeting in Murphy's. As Stephanie pointed out, there were probably 55, 60 people in attendance. I thought it went quite well. Other than that, there's some open houses and meetings this week, but I think the next board-appointed meeting is next week for RC. I don't think it's this Wednesday. I think it's next Wednesday.
It is.
It is? Yeah, okay, next Wednesday. So that completes my comments.
Okay, thanks, Tom. And Steve?
Today I have the Mental Health Advisory Board meeting in the library at 4 o'clock. The first 5 on Friday at 9:30. And I'm also going to be working a Christmas to Remember, and I was wondering whether the board had made a commitment to that this year, or whether I was on my own on this. But I think we had a formal request about a little while ago.
Where will you be?
Well, this one is up in West Point, but I think the one that we were invited to was in San Andreas.
I'm going to be there Thursday from noon to 2.
Okay. Well,
Thursday we have CAO interview.
no, that's the following Thursday. No.
Week from Thursday.
Week from Thursday.
Is it the 6th? Oh, I'm off leave.
Anyway, I hope everybody will put in a little time on that one. I know Bill and I froze our...
Yes, we did.
Is that the one KNGT started?
Yeah, it's the same.
Yeah, Terry Bailey was real active
Right.
in getting that.
Yeah. There's also a site in Valley Springs that's going to be on. It's the 5th and 6th, by the way. 5th and 6th.
Yes,
and they have various locations throughout the county. So those of you that might see this on your cable, be advised that it's a Christmas to Remember. Well, this is a lot of order here, but what they do with that program is they invite people to make donations that are then distributed throughout the county, and the schools, the elementary schools, participate in this, and the funds that are collected are then, I guess the budget or the funds it's administered by the schools who identify children in need and take them to Walmart on a Christmas shopping visit for coats, for shoes, socks, hats, whatever they need, gloves, anything they need. So it's December 5th and 6th, and you will see in front of the Wells Fargo Bank, the Bank of Lodi here in San Andreas. There will also be at the Marval Shopping Center in Valley Springs from probably about 10 in the morning until 6 or 7 at night. If you're in the area and you feel like making a donation to some unfortunate or less fortunate children in the county, that's the place to stop in and make your contribution. In West Point, you're going to be...
They'll be up in front of the Christmas tree in downtown starting 9 in the morning on Thursday and same time on Wednesday, actually.
Okay. Rita?
Well, now that I'm back to the correct week.
Now that you're on the right week.
Council of Governments Wednesday night. Tom Tryon's going to go for Bill Claudino. Tom Tryon.
Yes, I am.
I've got it under control. I'm chairing that night.
Oh, thank God I'll be there.
Area 12 Agency on Aging on Thursday, and the Juvenile Justice Commission. And on Friday, Tom, is your daughter being sworn in?
No, she's going to get sworn in the Bay Area. She can't come up for some reason.
Okay. And that's it for county appointment.
Okay. Did you have an issue you wanted to?
No.
Okay. Russ?
Okay. I just wanted to report that I had the distinct privilege of being a judge for the Valley Springs Christmas Parade Saturday. The most memorable image in my mind is hundreds and hundreds of fresh-faced kids, marching along in their dance groups and their gymnastics groups and the martial arts groups, and I had this sense of urgency that we've got to get some houses built for all those kids. But anyway, in all seriousness, it was really a wonderful event, and I was glad to participate in that. Last night, I also had a good time at the Wine Alliance Christmas party. That was well attended at Counts. And then coming up this week, I've got a Wednesday meeting for the Central Sierra Economic Development Council. We'll be meeting at the Copperopolis Town Square at 9:30. I'm going to take the group out to the waste management facility out in off of Burns Ferry Road to show them some ideas that I have out there about rejuvenating that facility for a tire recycling effort. Then on Thursday, of course, we have the Copperopolis session for the visioning for the general plan, and we're doing it sort of a joint effort there to take some comments on some elements of the Copperopolis community plan that we're still trying to work out. Prior to that meeting that is going to be starting at 6, there is, of course, the Chamber of Commerce will be meeting at the Copperopolis Town Square. If you have an opportunity to come down to that event, and then come on over to the Copperopolis meeting at the Armory. It's starting at 6. But probably the most significant thing that I'd like to announce this morning is that it cost me 75 cents to get here. I rode the bus from Copperopolis this morning. Had a very delightful driver named Laura. I was very kind of invigorated to see that there were 4 high school students riding the bus to school this morning. There was a woman that she'd gotten involved in an automobile accident last March, and so she was just on the mend, was going to a doctor's appointment, and then actually because the bus service was available, she was also had a job interview today in Angels Camp. So When we got to the transfer point, those folks got off, and 3 people got on coming here, 1 county employee that was really expressing some appreciation for the fact that since his car was broken, that he'd have a tough time getting to work. So anyway, the thing that I've got to work on is that there are 10 routes and 10 scheduled pickups on the other 4 routes and only 5 in Copperopolis, so I have to work on that. But anyway, I was very, very pleased, and I'll be using it some more. It's good service. So that's about all I have to say.
Thank you, Russ. Thanks for the report. Yeah. I will not be going to the COG, and I guess you, Tom, you weren't. I emailed you, but you were down cheering on your team. Sorry.
Sad day.
Yes, it was a sad day, and so you will be attending the COG. You're not dressed in black, or you don't have a black armband on today. So
he was trying to dissociate.
I know.
Poor cow.
And Wednesday evening there will be the San Andreas visiting workshop at the town hall. I'll be there from 6 p.m. till 9 p.m. On Thursday, I will be from noon until 2 o'clock in front of the Bank of Lodi / Wells Fargo. I see they're changing the sign as we speak out there, accepting donations for the Christmas to Remember. And I hope to make all of my other appointed rounds this week if I am not selected to serve on a jury Wednesday morning.
No chance.
I am so thrilled. Just thrilled.
I got my notice for the 19th.
Did you? Oh, congratulations. And that's all I have.
I just want to point out that Calaveras is not alone. City suggests general plan may change. For the city of Stockton, they're going to remove 3 projects that were on the north end of near 8 Mile Road. So it's trauma and drama all over regarding general plans.
Are you going to transfer?
I'm going to transfer to Stockton?
Yeah.
No, I'll keep ours.
Okay. Brent?
Just to give you a heads up, next week you'll be having a study session with the Ferguson Group about the legislative platform. That's a study session, and then we've scheduled action for you on the 18th. You will not have anything in your packet on the 18th because it's whatever happens next week will be written up and then handed to you at the meeting of the 18th.
Okay.
So look at the packet for next week. The other one is just to remind you, make sure Marita's calendar is right. It's a week from this Thursday. You're having the CIO interviews, and I passed out, and I need back before you leave your lunch selections so that we can keep that all on track and on time. That's all.
What time does that start?
8:30 in the morning. And it'll be an all-dayer.
Right, and that's at Greenhorn.
Yes.
Okay.
When you say all day, you expect till 5 or later?
I have the schedule. I think they're predicting 4 o'clock. But in part, it's going to be how much discussion you guys have.
Jim?
Nothing.
Okay. Madeline? That? I thought we had this stellar thing going on. You got here just in time. This meeting is now adjourned. That's it. Your timing is perfect.
Who's the check for the code company?
I don't see your mention being passed around.